Hey everybody, I had to put out this video and I'm recording it super quickly. Hopefully it's not too long. It's kind of like an emergency. I need to tell you about this video. So I want to talk quickly about my speaker setup. And the reason why is because the JBL LSR 305, well really the 305P and the 306P Mark IIs are going on sale constantly. Right now, as of recording this video, the 306P Mark IIs, which are the 6.5 inch version, they're the middle size. So these are the big ones. These are the LSR 308 Gen 1s. But the 306Ps are on sale for $150 a pair. And that's freaking nuts. It's insane. That's kind of the price you would be expecting to pay for a single one. So if you can snag a pair at that price, stop watching this video, and if you're even remotely interested, just go do it. Do it before they sell out. It's got free shipping. It's no tax in most places, and I'll have that linked in the description below. If you want to watch this video and figure out why, I'll try to explain to you why in a few minutes. So this is my big home theater setup. I don't know if you can tell by the camera and everything like that, but that's a 75-inch 4K Sony. I've got two massive LSR 308s on the sides, and from what I'm looking at on my screen here on the camera, they don't look that massive, but I promise you they're very big. And then down here, this is the Elax and the Sprout, and then two old Polk. These aren't in use, so ignore everything in front of the white. And then on the two sides here, we have monoprice 12-inch 150-watt subs. And it's a great little setup. I don't run surround. I run straight 2.2, and it's not a very large room, and I don't have room to put surround even if I wanted to. Right behind me, I'm sitting on the couch right now, there's a wall, and there's no like shelf on the wall or anything like that. I don't even believe there's an outlet over there, or even just a way to run wires. So it's kind of unfortunate the way it's set up right now, but I do like the setup, and everyone that comes over and listens to something or hears something, they're blown away. It sounds really, really good. There's extremely good dynamic range out of it. I can change the settings so I can have tons of bass coming at you. I can turn the subwoofers off completely if I want to, all via a remote, and I'll dig into this a little bit, but I use just a Vizio remote for the, changing the settings and whatnot, and that's on that. So there's an Apple TV and an Echo Dot, and there's a little guy right there. It's called a mini DSP. That's where all the speakers plug into. Anyway, long story short, with the speakers, if you're using crappy TV speakers and you need a good speaker, and you want an upgrade, get the LSRs without question. If you have desktop speakers and they're crappy little tiny Bose things that are about this big, get the LSRs. It doesn't matter if it's the 5-inch, the 6-inch. The 8-inch are huge, and I kind of regret getting the 8-inch because honestly, for the price, they don't sound that much better. They do get louder though, and they get a little bit deeper, but I'm using subs, so it doesn't really matter because that frequency is not getting sent to those speakers anyway. It's getting sent to the subwoofers. So, don't get me wrong, they don't sound bad. I just, for the price, get the 305, the 306. You can't go wrong with either of them. I think everyone should own a pair. They're the best sounding speakers under about $400. The only speakers that have really impressed me outside of the LSR series, as far as powered speakers go, have been the Atom Audio T5Vs, and that's because of the tweeter on them. That said, the tweeter on the LSRs, I'll get closer and to pull the camera off the tripod in a second. The waveguide on the tweeter is insane. It is magic. If you don't believe in magic, put two of these extremely far apart and then close your eyes, and if it doesn't sound like there's one speaker just pushing all the sound to you, I mean, it's going to sound pretty close to that, because that's what it sounds like. They have fantastic imaging, but if something's coming from the center or the center channel, I don't have a center channel, but it sounds like it's coming right from the center. So it's just, I can't say enough about how good they are. I'm getting all of my friends to buy them. Pretty much anyone that's come over and is remotely interested in audio has ended up buying a set of either the original 305s or the 306s. I don't think anyone's bought the 308s, but they make a matching sub and everything like that. But with this setup, I'm using 2 cheap monoprice subs, 2 LSRs, and I've got a kick-ass system. So let me pull the camera off the tripod and show you what I have going on. So this is the front of the LSR, and it's just a beautiful, beautiful speaker. Very small white LED on it, which is fantastic. White is the correct color for any LED. And there you can see the waveguide and the very interesting design on the waveguide. Very understated JBL logo at the bottom. And that's about it. And I have them on ISO acoustic stands. Give me a second. Adjust the microphone. ISO acoustic stands, probably not the perfect solution for them, and they do kind of look skeletonized, but the couch sits pretty low, so I actually want the tweeter pointing downward a little bit, and because of their size, I gotta have a pretty good angle on them. So if you can see, maybe on this one a little bit, it is sloping at about like a 20-degree angle downward. And got my Calvin and Hobbes book. Normally my laptop sits here. I just have this for now. But I've got an Echo Dot, and we'll talk about that in a second. Apple TV 4K. Here's the Mini DSP HD, which is pretty much my favorite device of this whole setup. And it's absolutely not necessary if you want to use these speakers with your TV. Most TVs have a headphone output, or something that's labeled a headphone output. And what you can do is you can take a 1/4 inch to 3.5 cable, plug the 1/4 inch into each speaker, the back of each speaker, and then plug the 3.5 into your TV, and you're good to go. Now, in some, I would say somewhat rare cases, you don't get volume control with that, so you might have to look into another option. If you need to use these with Bluetooth, use the same 1/4 inch to 3.5 cable. Get one of those, what are they called? MKII Bluetooth adapters. Hook that guy up to it. Bluetooth your Apple TV or your Shield or your TV itself to the little MKII adapter, and then you have volume control. In this case, I'm using the Mini DSP for volume control, and I guess I'll start talking about this now. I have an audio. Well, the audio is coming from the TV via optical into the Mini DSP. And there's the optical right here. And the Mini DSP is basically a DAC with a lot of fancy software on it. And it has 3 inputs. You have analog here, which is what I'm using a Chromecast audio right now, but sometimes I'll switch from the Chromecast audio to the Echo Dot, and that's kind of why I have it. And then optical and USB. And USB is how you program it, but you can also use it as a USB DAC. So when I have my laptop sitting here, instead of going through HDMI sound to the TV and then back to the Mini DSP, I can go direct USB right there. And that's normally what I do. Now, it has 4 outputs, and you can assign them to do whatever you want. So I've got 2 for subs and left and right. And you can tell them to be left output, right output, mono output. So the subs right now, in this configuration, I believe via the software and the remote, I have them set up to be 150 hertz crossover, left and right stereo. So basically, this is one big channel, full range, and this is one big channel, full range. On profile 2, I have 130 hertz crossover, so crosses over a little bit lower, sending a little bit less signal to the subs, and it's mono on the bottom. So you're getting left and right to both subs, and that is chest thumping bass. I mean, it is uncomfortable at certain volume levels. And like, I'm not even talking like to your ears. I mean, it's just uncomfortable to your body how that sounds. It's super great for movies that are lacking a little bit in the bass department and you want to boost it. But if you put something on like Dunkirk or you put on Edge of Tomorrow, it becomes too much and you're going to get complaints from the neighbors. Now, on profile 3 on the mini DSP, I changed the profiles via this remote that I was showing you earlier. So I got profile 1, profile 2, profile 3, profile 4. 3 is crossover at 110 hertz. The last one was, so this is 150 stereo, 130 mono, 110 mono. So this is like my normal movie setting. And then I have quiet mode, which is profile 4, which is just the LSRs. And the LSRs sound great on their own. So, if you don't want to rumble the house because low frequencies travel quite a bit, that's what you do. You put it on that mode. Now I've got volume control via the mini DSP and mute. And then 1, 2, and 3 are my sources. So I can change from the Chromecast to the optical, and then 3 is USB. And I don't believe you can turn it off, but it's just kind of always on. So that's my setup, and I hope that answers some questions. I don't know if I can do a sound test. I might be able to play something. See if I can play a trailer or something that hopefully it doesn't get me pulled off of YouTube. I'm actually going to have to spin the microphone around because right now the microphone's pointed at me. So let me spin this guy around. Sorry for the extra noise. Now this is on, put it on setting 2. I don't know how well this is going to pick up via this microphone, so we'll see.
No live organism can continue to exist sanely under conditions of absolute reality. Even larks and katydids are supposed, my son, to dream. Hill House, not sane, stood by itself against its hills, holding darkness within. It had stood so for 100 years before my family moved in.
And hopefully you can hear, but the vocal clarity is just fantastic. The violin portion of that was just, it's just crisp.
Please welcome the undefeated, undisputed, Montreal Cancer.
I want to see if I can pull up a movie trailer. Edge of Tomorrow. Well, let's try this.
Yo,
again.
Right. Right.
Are you gonna keep me in suspense?
No, her,
But having a setup like this, let me flip the mic again so you can actually hear me. Having a setup like this just really adds something to even just a simple setup. The mini DSP is probably my favorite piece of this whole thing. And if I had to do it again, I would get the mini DSP HD. I would have two 305s, because if we're going to have subs, then really you don't need the 308s or the 306s. But as far as 305 or 306, just get whatever's cheapest. Right now the 306 is the cheapest. So I would do that. And then as far as subs go, I really like these 12-inch, and I got them for $80 a piece shipped. So if you can get them, for around that price, maybe $100 or so, go that route. But whatever you do, I think 2 subs is the way to go. So hopefully this has shed some sort of light on my setup. And honestly, this is just a PSA of buy these speakers because they're nuts. And if you don't have them, you really should, and they'll change your life. And I don't say that about many things. And just to prove it to you how much I like these, I'll show you that I have them in the other room. I've also got a set upstairs. So I've got 305, they're the LSR 30X from Massdrop upstairs. And then I've got the 305s with the JBL sub in through here. My messy room. But here's the LSR 310S sub. This is the sub I had on the home theater setup in there a while ago. And then the cool thing about this sub is that it does the crossover. It's designed for these speakers, and it works great. But the monoprice plus the mini DSP really kicks it. I mean, it blows it out of the water. It's way better. But LSR 305s, got a 34-inch ultra wide and a 240 hertz 25-inch. And yeah, I mean, this is just my setup. So when I'm listening to music and then gaming and everything like that, it's all going through here. Sometimes I use headphones, but usually that's only when I'm talking to people and stuff so that they don't hear stuff coming out of the speakers. But yeah, so I hope you found this video to be a little bit helpful. Just to say that I'm very, very picky about these sort of things. I've had all kinds of different desktop speakers. These have been by far my favorite. So please consider buying them. I'm going to link you the 306Ps. It's not even an affiliate link. It's just a link to B&H, and they're on sale for $150. So go buy them. Enjoy.